From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, April the 30th, 2021. We open with the horrific tragedy last night in northern Israel, a stampede during a Lag BaOmer celebration at Mount Meron, where at least 45 people were killed and over 150 injured, believed to have been caused by severe overcrowding on a slippery walkway at the site, which is an annual mass traditional gathering place on the holiday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who visited the area this morning, called the incident a terrible disaster. He promised a thorough investigation and declared this Sunday a day of national mourning in Israel. President Rivlin called the tragedy heartbreaking and lit 45 candles in memory of those killed in what is believed to be the worst peacetime tragedy in modern Israeli history. Local Arab villages and towns near Meron set up food and drink stations this morning for those evacuated from the site, and Arab residents of those towns opened their homes to rescuers and evacuees. Hundreds in Tel Aviv lined up for hours today to donate blood for the injured. The Prime Minister expressed his thanks and donated blood himself, saying, "In the moments that test us, our people unite as we see today." The White House released a statement from President Joe Biden reading that the United States stands with the people of Israel and with Jewish communities the world over in mourning the terrible tragedy at Mount Meron. Biden wrote, "I spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu today to offer my profound condolences on behalf of the American people to our friends in Israel. The loss of life among worshipers practicing their faith," he wrote, "is heartbreaking. I have instructed my team to offer our assistance to the government and people of Israel as they respond to the disaster and care for the wounded." Biden wrote, "We are also working to confirm reports that American citizens may have lost their lives or been wounded during the religious observance of Lag BaOmer. Our embassy and Department of State will provide all necessary support to any U.S. citizens and their family members affected by this sad event. The people of the United States and Israel are bound together by our families, our faiths, and our histories, and we will stand with our friends. Our prayers are with those who were injured and all those who lost loved ones. May their memories be a blessing." Well, the Times of Israel reports, citing a report from Israel's Channel 12, that 5 American citizens are believed to have been among the fatalities, though this has not yet been officially confirmed at the time of the taping of this newscast. Condolences were received in Israel from all across the world over the tragedy last night, shared on social media by Israel's foreign ministry, including many Arab countries. Bahraini Crown Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa wrote to Prime Minister Netanyahu to express his condolences to the government of Israel and the families of the victims, while wishing the injured a speedy recovery. The ambassador from the United Arab Emirates to Israel, Mohammed El Khaja, wrote, "I was very saddened to hear about the tragedy during Lag BaOmer celebrations in Mount Meron. I offer my condolences to the families and wish a full recovery to those injured." Jordan's King Abdullah II called President Rivlin to express the condolences of his country, and Rivlin received a letter from Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas expressing his sorrow. Abbas wrote, "For the tragedy that claimed the lives of dozens of victims," adding, "We are praying for the victims and hope for the recovery of those injured." Israel's Foreign Minister Gabi Ashkenazi said he received calls from Emirati Foreign Minister Abdullah Ben Zayed, as well as condolences from several Arab nations, including some, without naming them specifically, that do not have official relations with Israel. Ashkenazi also received a phone call of condolences from U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, and U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan shared his message on social media last night, writing, "Our hearts go out to the people of Israel tonight following the terrible tragedy at Mount Meron." Jewish organizations here in the U.S. shared their grief and messages of support for the people of Israel, including the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, who wrote, "It stands in solidarity with the people of Israel. The American Jewish community prays for the recovery of the victims and extends condolences to those who lost loved ones." Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, April the 30th. Live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock from New York City's Central Synagogue, followed by Shabbat services from the Hampton Synagogue. At 8:30, it's a concert with Nefesh Mountain, and 6:13 at 9, it's the film Olive and Tree, a look at the Druze community in Israel. At 10:30, a replay of the Hampton Synagogue services, followed by an encore presentation of Central Synagogue services. And coming up next, a look at this week's Torah portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, April the 30th, 2021. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well, and Shabbat Shalom.